Well, hello again. I keep saying that this is going to be my last one, and of course, I get loads of people asking, please keep going. So, you've got me back again. First of all, um, the tie that I was wearing yesterday, this one here, is going to be on its way across the Atlantic soon. So, hopefully, the new recipient will be able to adorn this on one of his future videos, as promised. Because obviously with the tartan, you can tell I'm from Scotland. Now, one of the obvious things about this whole case is that the investigation into the homicide of Teresa Holbach really polarises opinions. Obviously there are people like ourselves who simply want to know the truth. We are fully behind Kathleen Zellner's search for the truth, whichever way it goes. We particularly like some of her comments. It was noticeable yesterday that in one of her tweets she refers to the real killers, using the plural killers. So she's clearly got more than one person in mind. I particularly liked a tweet that I read this morning, and it was simply, the definition of a moron is a guy who makes threats on a recorded phone call. He's not likely to get away with crimes unless there are bigger morons in charge. And that really does suggest to me that people were being forced, coerced, threatened, possibly rewarded, but certainly there was all types of pressure placed on certain individuals. So there's people that want to find the truth, they feel that the truth is important. Then there's the opposite side, which is the ones that hate the truth. And I would suggest that we stop calling them guilters and just calling them haters, because that's all they are. Some of them are very obscene and vile. They post the most ridiculous stuff, like personal attacks on people. I'm sure everybody's encountered them. I have a certain sympathy for them, because I suspect that they are simply so desperate because they have the most to lose. I suspect that they are employed with Wisconsin, the state, in some sort of law enforcement capacity, and possibly in Manitowoc itself. And when Stephen and Avery are set free, they realise the damage it'll be done to the county, and I suspect damage to them personally. And you know, I'm sure that's where most of the haters do come from. They come from Manitowoc in particular. There's a support map where there are very few supporters in Manitowoc, possibly because they're afraid to speak up for fear of intimidation themselves. A few months back I contacted a well-known Wisconsinite, and we discussed quite a few things, in fact, including important subjects such as the Green Bay Packers, gun laws, and various other things. Now, previously I had suggested, tongue-in-cheek, that we should separate Manitowoc from the mainland, set it out, float it out across Lake Michigan, watch it sink, whilst the rest of the civilized world cheers. Now, I did actually get round to asking the question, what do people in Manitowoc and Wisconsin think about the case? Because he said that he hadn't really kept up to date with it. He wasn't aware of the latest developments, so I made a point of sending him details, which he seemed to be genuinely concerned about. But eventually he did reply back that the big problem with making a murderer is that for the people in Manitowoc, it paints them in a really bad light, and I really do get that. It's so unfortunate, so unfortunate, that the actions of a few can taint the reputation of so many. And talking of reputation, the more you dig into the goings on in Manitowoc, and particularly in the Sheriff's Department, you begin to realise that these, let's call them shenanigans, have been going on for a long, long time. You only need to remember Sheriff Peterson and his "it would be easier to kill Stephen than frame him" quote. So the big problem is for Manitowoc that it's really put the place on the map. Its legacy is, to be honest, it's forever tainted with this case. Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department will forever be remembered for this case. It's particularly when Making a Murderer Series 2 comes out. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster, because there is so much going on now. I mean, somebody put on the Facebook page that they'd seen Making a Murderer 22 times. What about everybody else? And I asked, is that per month or per year? Because it really is a very, very well put together documentary, and I completely go against anybody's claims that it was skewed in favour of the defence. It's very, very, very clear that Stephen was framed and Brendan was coerced, and we can see exactly what the motives were behind that. So anyway, to the recipient of the tie, hope you get it soon, and look forward to seeing some of your videos in the future. Bye for now.